Hi everyone. I'm going to dedicate the next series of webinars we're going to do to actually discussing about chaos. So we're going to look at different ways we can actually approach chaos and not actually prevent chaos, but actually learn to live with it. All right, and if you try to understand the concept of chaos itself, chaos is about events happening, and we call it chaos. So we say things are chaotic when we actually don't have control over the things. That's why we say it's chaotic, because it's beyond our control, and it causes a lot of suffering because things happen in a way that we don't want them to happen. And this is perhaps the main problem with us in general. Why do we expect things to happen in a certain way? Because if you look at the world, it's governed by the law of impermanence, suggesting that nothing is constant. So everything keeps changing, and you don't really know what can possibly happen to you. So this is the law of impermanence, and no one can actually escape impermanence in that sense. So the only thing in your control, the only thing you can do is actually learn how to live with that impermanence that surrounds you. All right. So to learn how to deal with it, we can actually look at the meditation practice as it is. And the way we approach meditation can actually guide us to actually understand how to cope with chaos itself. And the meditation practice I'm going to refer to is the insight meditation, which we have. So in insight meditation, what we do is, so in insight meditation, what happens is we sit down and we always refer back to the breath in, the breath out, and that stays the main focus. And throughout the process, what happens is the nature of the mind is to keep wandering around. So the mind goes to different places. We have random thoughts. Possibly we have random emotions that arise while we do the insight meditation. But anything that arises, we look at those things in a very detached way. So the things come up, we don't label them, whether they are bad emotions. When I say bad emotions, is possibly you feel sadness, you feel anger. So you let these feelings come up. You don't label them, you just observe and let them go. And in case you feel overwhelmed with thoughts or emotions, what you do is you go back to your breath. And that's the only thing you do in insight meditation. So things come up and you don't label them, you just let them come up, you let them go. And in case you feel that you're starting to get distracted, you're starting to get wrapped into the thoughts that arises, because maybe some emotions come up and you cannot or attach to those emotions because they mean something which happened in your life. If that starts to happen, you go back to the breathing, so to the breath in and out. And that's the only thing you do when you practice insight meditation. You just sit down, you just follow your breath. In case you feel distracted, you go back to the breath, and that's all you do. Distraction, back to the breath, distraction, back to the breath. And any kind of thoughts that come up, you don't label them, even if they're very good thoughts. You just let them come, let them go. So in that way, you actually learn to look beyond the thoughts and beyond the emotions. And the more you practice it, the more you actually go beyond the duality of things, meaning what are good thoughts, what are bad thoughts, what are good feelings, what are bad feelings. Because no matter what comes up, you're not labeling, so there's no longer anything that's good, there's no longer anything that's bad. They come up and you always go back to your breath. So this is insight meditation, okay? It's very simple. You just follow the breath, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. The breath slows down in the process, but you just keep following the breath. So if you actually use that approach in everything you do, all right, so you get out of your house, you're driving, you don't know what can possibly happen on the way. Maybe the traffic is very bad on a given day, maybe it's very good on a given day. But if you actually use that method where you stop labeling, oh, today the traffic is bad, or today the traffic is very good, I feel happy. If you actually start living like this, and you actually drop your expectations from the events which will happen in your life, from people around you, then it gives you a certain sort of freedom, because you're no longer expecting things to be in a certain way. And in that manner, you can actually explore your own inner demons. So if things happen to you which actually shook you up a long time ago, you can actually go there and be okay with those things, because the more you push things under the carpet, they don't get solved on their own. You actually need to access the events which created suffering in your life, go there and actually stop being afraid of those things happening again. So be okay with those feelings and emotions, and actually releasing those feelings and emotions. So that simple approach in insight meditation can actually be taken and applied to different parts of your life, and it can actually transform your life completely. If you start to actually practice this, then you will no longer be trapped into the overwhelming of emotions on a given day, because things may just come, whether they're good, whether they're bad. You're just going to accept those things, and you're just going to let go. It's going to create a lot of freedom in the way you live. It's going to create a lot of peace, a lot of calmness. And if you think about it, that's we all want. We want to actually live a life where we feel very peaceful, we feel very happy, we feel very calm. And these things can actually be produced inside of you. You don't need something external to make you feel happy, make you feel calm. Because if you rely on something external, whether it's praise from people, whether it's an object you're going to buy, then the desire will always be here, because you always want something more, want something more, want something more, and it never ends. So it creates a sort of craving which will never generate that genuine happiness. And the genuine happiness is found inside of you when you actually let go of labeling, let go of judgment, and you just observe things the way they are. And the essence of insight meditation is that the mind in its purest state is actually non-judgmental. So we try to use that practice to go to that very pure state of mind where there's no labeling, there's no judging, and it's only there that you actually can look at things in their true nature and actually learn to appreciate things for the way they are. So I hope that you found that session interesting. In the next webinar, we're going to look at a different practice we can actually use to once again help us to cope with the chaos around us. Okay, so I'm going to see you very soon. So till then, take care and bye-bye.